Video marketing in just 2 minutes a day, episode 205. Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the Firm Differentiator 10X Effect, Moshe Amsel. Well, hello and welcome to another episode on the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsel, and today we are going to be talking about video. Now, I'm excited about video because it's the medium. It's the new medium that everybody is consuming. I mean, just look at the massive amounts of subscribers that Netflix, Disney Plus, all of these video streaming services are getting. And then look at Google's most recent earnings report where they blew out their numbers because of YouTube. Now, YouTube is a channel that is primarily amateur. You know, I'm not going to say that it's all amateur. There's a lot of really professional stuff on there, but it's primarily not mainstream media. You're not getting on YouTube when you're doing searches. You're not getting the premium content that you're getting in these other streaming services. Then on top of that, you have all these other things like Facebook, Facebook Live, Facebook Watch, Instagram. You have TikTok. There's just video has basically taken over our lives, but more importantly than our lives, it's our customers, our clients' lives. And we need to recognize how massive an opportunity video presents to us. And I'm going to spend some time today to talk about that, but more importantly, to talk about how in the world can I get started with video for my law firm without needing to dedicate a bunch of money, a bunch of time to figure it out, to nail it, to get it right, and just hit the ground running with video content because I recognize how important video is. So we're going to cover that in this episode. I'm super excited to be talking about it. It's a really different episode from what I've been putting out the last couple of months. And I'm excited to get into nitty-gritty details on video content. But before I do that, I'm going to cut through to some of our sponsors, share that with you. They make the show possible. Share some love with them. Check them out. If they're relevant to you, give them a try. We love when our listeners support our sponsors. I'll be right back. Finding amazing employees is the toughest job for any business, and especially for a law firm. You deserve to be the law firm owner you've always wanted to be, but you can't get there without a great team. Get Staffed Up helps you build your all-star team by staffing your law firm with incredible full-time offshore virtual assistants. Work with Get Staffed Up to save money and your biggest resource, time, while they find you the best English-speaking VAs in the world. Hashtag delegate your way to freedom. Learn more at www.getstaffedup.com/VIP. As an attorney, you want to get more done for your clients while converting leads into new business. But your days are filled with drafting documents, meetings, court appearances, speaking with opposing counsel, and making sure no one falls through the cracks. This leaves you with little time to focus on your business. Meet Lawmatics, the most powerful client intake and marketing automation CRM built for the modern law practice. With Lawmatics, you can win more business, impress clients, and be more efficient. Go to www.lawmatics.com to book your personalized demo and learn how Lawmatics can help you grow your firm. Thanks to our sponsor, Smith AI. Smith AI is a superior virtual receptionist service for small businesses. They specialize in working with solo and small law firms. I discovered Smith AI a couple of years ago and was blown away by the range of services, which are available at a cost any attorney, even those of you in the smallest solo practice, can afford. Their friendly receptionists respond to potential clients in English or Spanish, screen and schedule new leads, and even take payment for consults. The best part is they don't just handle these conversations by phone. They also have live agents and chatbots capturing leads on websites and via text message. If there's one growth hack to your practice, this is it. Smith's friendly gatekeepers can staff your front lines. They'll capture new leads while you work uninterrupted. You can finally have the peace of mind that while you're working, you're not missing out on future work. Plans start at just $210 a month for calls and $140 a month for chats. They even offer a totally free chatbot, so there's no excuse. Try Smith AI today and see for yourself why attorneys like Justy Nickel in Colorado say Smith AI receptionists are the secret to business growth and client happiness. Smith AI offers a free trial, and podcast listeners can get an extra $100 discount with promo code ProfitLaw100. That's ProfitLaw100. Sign up and learn more at www.smith.ai. Trust me when I say, don't let another day go by. Try Smith AI. All right, and we are back. Okay, so video marketing in just 2 minutes a day. Where did I come up with that title? You're going to find out at the end of this episode. But let's start off with reasons that we don't do video. Most probably, if you're listening to this episode, you already know how valuable video can be. Let me give you some examples. There is a gentleman by the name of Mike Morse. Everybody knows him from his book that he recently published called Fireproof. And he is very well known, established lawyer with a sizable law firm, and he has monopolized the personal injury space in the Detroit metro area. Everybody knows him with his slogan, I think it's 844 Mike wins or whatever it is. But how do they know him? From his YouTube channel, from his video appearances on local TV. Now, they're not a mistake. They're related to each other. He has a regular show on YouTube that people literally tune in and watch. So, and he basically built his firm off of that video content. There's a ton of other examples that I can share with you, but more importantly, I think that you already know how important video is. The thing that you don't know is how to get started. So let's talk about why don't you do video. Number one, people say, well, I have a face for radio. That's why I'm behind a microphone, right? No, we're worried about how we look. We're worried about how we come across. We don't think we're pretty enough. We don't think that we're styled enough. We think that we're going to have to spend hours preparing to get behind the camera. So that's number one. I have a face for radio. Number two, I don't know what to speak about. I'm afraid that if I start doing video, I'm going to get behind the microphone, get behind the camera, and I'm not going to know what to say. And I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to have to come up with ideas of what to say. The next reason why we don't do video, who will watch it anyway? My target market doesn't consume video. Let me tell you a story. When I started serving lawyers, I got so much pushback from my mastermind community, other entrepreneurs, other business owners, where I said, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do a podcast for lawyers. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do video content for lawyers. And you know what they told me? Lawyers bill in 6-minute increments. There's no way that they are going to spend 30 minutes listening to you. There's no way they're going to spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes watching a video you produce. There is no way that they're going to dedicate 3, 4, or 5 days to attend a conference that you put on. Let me tell you something. There is no target market in the world that is more busy than attorneys. And guess what? You guys listen to podcasts, you watch videos, you consume YouTube content, maybe not on the regular, maybe not as much as other people, but you're still consumers. And if you can consume content, guess what? Your target market consumes content. So who will watch it anyway is a bunch of BS, because your ideal client, the person you're trying to reach, somewhere They're looking for the answer, and they're going to watch somebody's video. It may not be yours if you don't do it. So who will watch it anyway? That is a moot point, non-issue. It won't look professional is the next thing that people say. It won't look professional. Here's something that I want to share with you, and that is that, and I'm going to go into this more when I talk about the how-to, like how do you actually get started, but it won't look professional is a cop-out, because if you think about it, you have to get to the point of professionalism over time. Recently, I've been binge watching World Poker Tour. Okay, I got into poker over quarantine. I'm in a poker group. I play poker a couple of times a week online. I enjoy the game. I'm a numbers guy. I like the statistics of it, and I like the thrill. So I play some poker. Well, I've been watching the World Poker Tour, and I found something interesting. If you watch like season 1, 2, 3, the screen is grainy. You could barely make out the cards you're looking at when they're showing what cards a player is holding. The video is awful. Yes, it's not their fault. The technology wasn't there yet. We didn't have HD video when they first started. So they just didn't have the clarity. But you can also see the production value over time. As the brand has grown, and clearly as their budget has grown, the amount of finesse and professionalism in the final product and how it's produced has increased so much from the beginning to where we are today that it's a different product. It almost hurts if you watch the last season and then you go and watch the first season. It almost hurts to watch it because it's so different. And my point is, it's not specifically about World Poker Tour. It could be about anything. I mean, look at Friends. Go to season 1 and then watch season 10, right? What happens is that the more you do something, the better you get at it. And if you wait until you've got professionalism, if you wait until you've got the perfect DSLR camera and the perfect studio, the right lighting, and your makeup on, and or for the guys, your hair brushed, your face shaved, your right jacket and tie on, and then you're ready to go, you've missed the boat. You missed the point, because you need to go through the steps of getting to that level of professionalism. If you try to do that from day one, you're going to give up right away. You're not going to give yourself an opportunity to succeed. So it won't look professional is definitely something that I'm not going to invalidate, right? You should look professional. But that shouldn't be a reason to stop you. And honestly, if you look on YouTube, you look on Facebook, you look at the type of content that people are looking for, they're not looking for professional content. If they see something that appears too professional, they already move on to the next thing. They cast doubt on it. Oh, here's somebody who's producing this thing with lots of money, so they're going to feed me something that they want me to hear. I'd rather hear from the mouth of somebody who's real, who's, they're recording their video from their bedroom home office, or they're recording their video from outside in the park rather than from their Lamborghini, right? So people want real, they want raw, and that's what they're looking for today. So going for that high level of professionalism might be how you want to portray your brand, and maybe that's what you do with a highly produced video for your website. But for ongoing content, it's absolutely completely unnecessary, and as a matter of fact, might do a disservice to you to be at that level, especially at the get-go, until you build an audience, you build people who are going to come and watch your stuff. Then you can start to up-level your brand as you go. So the next thing is I don't have time. And I covered this before, right? Attorneys bill in 6-minute increments. Attorneys, they're professionals. They're busy with handling their clients. They're busy trying to get more cases, so they're doing consultations, things like that. I don't have time is a common excuse, reason for not doing it, but not necessarily a valid one. So don't have time. We're going to address that one pretty soon. The next one is it isn't effective. So somebody says, hey, the video isn't effective. Now that could be multiple things, right? Maybe it isn't effective an effective use of my time because I'm not going to reach enough people. It isn't effective because putting content out there is not going to get me leads. It isn't effective because I'm not going to find my ideal client. There's a lot of reasons why you would say it isn't effective. And for that, the only thing I'm going to say is, I already shared examples of people who are being successful with video. Just look around you, go into some Facebook groups, ask a couple of questions, put some polls out there. I mean, there are some really, really well-off solos and well on their way multi-attorney firms that are baby firms still, that are doing most of their business from video. And you can find examples of that everywhere. It's effective. Just saying it isn't effective is just a cop-out. You got to really dive into that and see why is it that that's coming up for you. The last one is I'd rather invest in my marketing. I'd rather pay somebody else to do it than to do it myself. And this is a loaded one because I talk out of two sides of my mouth, right? I get here on the podcast and I say, you shouldn't be doing things yourself. You shouldn't be writing your own stuff. You shouldn't be worrying about how to maximize SEO. You should be hiring a marketing agency to do that for you. And at the same time, I'm telling you, do video. You should do video yourself, right? What's the difference? The difference is that whose face is on the camera. Sure, you want to invest in marketing? Great. Pay for somebody to be your videographer. Pay for somebody to be your writer to come up with the content, and pay for somebody to do the blog post behind it and to do the marketing behind it. Now, I'm not saying, again, I told you not to be highly produced, so this is definitely not a level you should start at unless you have the means to do that and it makes sense to you. But you still have to be the one behind camera. You, and I'm going to put a caveat in here, you or somebody at your law firm, right? It could be another attorney at your firm. As long as you have the rights to the video in case they leave, it's still yours. It's your law firm's content. I definitely would use staff if it makes sense. If you have different attorneys that are experts on different subject matters and you're creating video around all of that, it highlights your law firm in a better light because you have so many people who are experts that are in your firm that are sharing content. So it doesn't have to be you, but it does have to be somebody with authority to be speaking on that. It's not like ghostwriting where you can have someone else write it and you slap your name on it. It's got to be somebody who's an individual representing your firm on that content. So those are reasons that we don't do video. Now, what I'm going to share with you is 5 steps to implement video in just a week. 5 steps to implement video in just a week. We're going to do that in just a moment. First, I'm going to share words from our sponsors one more time. Give them a try. Check them out. I know that sometimes you're out for a run. You're in the shower. You're taking the kids to school. You're doing all kinds of things while you're listening to this podcast. But we share really, really valuable services from our partners, and we don't pick them lightly. It's not just anybody who comes with a check is going to get on the show. We want to make sure that we're bringing you value. We're bringing you somebody who's going to provide a service that's going to help you enhance the profitability of your firm. So pay attention because these are services that will help you move the needle in your business. Finding amazing employees is the toughest job for any business, and especially for a law firm. You deserve to be the law firm owner you've always wanted to be, but you can't get there without a great team. Get Staffed Up helps you build your all-star team by staffing your law firm with incredible full-time offshore virtual assistants. Work with Get Staffed Up to save money and your biggest resource, time, while they find you the best English-speaking VAs in the world. Hashtag delegate your way to freedom. Learn more at www.getstaffedup.com/VIP. As an attorney, you want to get more done for your clients while converting leads into new business. But your days are filled with drafting documents, meetings, court appearances, speaking with opposing counsel, and making sure no one falls through the cracks. This leaves you with little time to focus on your business. Meet Lawmatics, the most powerful client intake and marketing automation CRM built for the modern law practice. With Lawmatics, you can win more business, impress clients, and be more efficient. Go to www.lawmatics.com to book your personalized demo and learn how Lawmatics can help you grow your firm. Thanks to our sponsor, Smith AI. Smith AI is a superior virtual receptionist service for small businesses. They specialize in working with solo and small law firms. I discovered Smith AI a couple of years ago and was blown away by the range of services, which are available at a cost any attorney, even those of you in the smallest solo practice, can afford. Their friendly receptionists respond to potential clients in English or Spanish, screen and schedule new leads, and even take payment for consults. The best part is, they don't just handle these conversations by phone. They also have live agents and chatbots capturing leads on websites and via text message. If there's one growth hack to your practice, this is it. Smith's friendly gatekeepers can staff your front lines. They'll capture new leads while you work uninterrupted. You can finally have the peace of mind that while you're working, you're not missing out on future work. Plans start at just $210 a month for calls and $140 a month for chats. They even offer a totally free chatbot, so there's no excuse. Try Smith AI today and see for yourself why attorneys like Justy Nickel in Colorado say Smith AI receptionists are the secret to business growth and client happiness. Smith AI offers a free trial, and podcast listeners can get an extra $100 discount with promo code ProfitLaw100. That's ProfitLaw100. Sign up and learn more at www.smith.ai. Trust me when I say, don't let another day go by. Try Smith AI. And I am back. Okay, so 5 steps to implement video in just a week. Here you go. Number 1, conquer your fear. Now, you might say, hey, I'm not afraid. But if you are contemplating video and you haven't started it yet, the number one reason why that would be is because you're fearful of something. So you need to conquer your fear. Well, how do you conquer your fear? Moshe, what do I do? I'm afraid to get behind camera for all the reasons you just listed. I am afraid. So the first question is why are you afraid? You have to ask yourself this question, and you have to answer this question. Why am I afraid? Because when you understand why you're afraid, that is when you can see how silly and stupid and dumb it is that you're hiding behind that fear. Because when you start to dig into it, you start to ask yourself, so what? I am afraid that somebody is going to comment about how I look. So what? Do we care what somebody else's opinion is? You're attorneys, for God's sakes. There's opinions up the wazoo. Whenever your opposing counsel wants to say something, they're going to tear into your character. They're going to tear into your argument. They're going to, you have opinions all the time that are negating, that are against you. You have thick skin. You can handle that. Who is this person anyway? Nobody that you know. It doesn't matter. So why are you afraid? I'm afraid because of my ego. I'm afraid because of how I might look, how I might come across, how somebody might perceive me. I'm afraid of, now there are some things that are legitimate fears that you need to look into and you need to assuage them, right? So let's say you're like, okay, I'm afraid of providing information on video that somebody takes and then it harms them and they turn back and sue me, right? That's a legitimate fear if it's real, if you're not just making up a convoluted possibility. But if it's real, then you have to come up with a strategy of how to make sure that you're preventing that from happening. What is a disclaimer you can provide? What is a way that you can couch your content in a way that you are always saying, I am not providing legal advice. Individual legal advice needs to be provided one-on-one so that we can review your entire case. We're just providing general information about this specific legal topic. There's definitely things you can do to put into your video content to cover yourself there. So listen to the fair. Don't let it stop you. Overcome it. Either overcome it by facing the challenge and finding a solution, or overcome it by realizing how silly the fair is and logically coming to the determination that it doesn't make any sense and I can move forward. I can take the next step. The other thing you can do is you could say, well, what if? So I'm afraid of what might happen, if somebody hears this, sees this, and, now there's an opinion about me, a negative opinion about me. What if by creating this video, you can help somebody? What if by creating this content, you are actually transforming somebody's life? Because at the moment that they watched your video, they were at a crossroads, and the information you provided them allowed them to take a step in the right direction to get their issue resolved, to get their life back on track, to win at whatever matter that they were being faced with. What if your video could help somebody? What if you did a video a day, and all of a sudden you're helping hundreds of people a year? Now, what if you allowed your fear to win and you never put out any of those videos? Just let that sink in for a moment, because sometimes we get so caught up in what if I do this and this thing happens, and we don't ask ourselves the question of what if I don't do this? And all the good things that could have come out from it don't happen. Ask yourself that question. What if it is successful? Forget helping people. What if the marketing effort of creating video is successful? What if it unlocks a lead source and an ongoing flow of leads that I would have never had otherwise? What if it creates a level of authority that allows me to command higher prices than anybody else in my practice area, in my geographic area? Video has the ability to do some very interesting things that allows you to command the marketplace. And you need to start asking yourself, what if taking this step actually does create success? Now, all of this is under the Conquer Your Fear. So I have 5 steps to implement video in just a week. We're still talking about conquering your fear, and these are different things that you can do to try to overcome that. So the other thing is I mentioned this earlier, and that is that practice is the only way to get better. So I use this elaborate example of the World Poker Tour, but if you think about it, no matter what you do, the first time you do it, you're going to be lousy. I mean, if you're a litigator, think about your first time in a courtroom. You're tripping over your own feet. You couldn't get sentences out of your mouth. You forgot what you were going to say. You had to keep looking at notes. And then 5 years later, after hundreds of court appearances, or thousands, you're confident. You know your stuff. You walk in prepared. There's a world of a difference between somebody doing something on the first day that they're doing it and doing it 1,000 times later. Video is the same thing. The first time you do video, it's going to suck. It doesn't matter how much you prepare for it. It doesn't matter how much you plan for it. The first time you do it, it's going to suck. Here, this is an example that one of my coaches, my coach and mentor, James Wedmore, he uses this example all the time. He says, if you read a book on how to swim from cover to cover, you read the entire book, you study it, somebody could test you on it and you would get 100 no matter what they asked you. You would answer every question correctly. You know that book inside and out. Do you know how to swim? The answer is no. Until you get in the water and try to swim, you do not know how to swim. You might know all the mechanics. You might know how it's supposed to work. But when you actually go to do it, all that goes out the window. And you have to learn at that point. Video is the same thing. We can tell you how to do it. We can tell you how to create your content, how to do A, B, C, D, how to go through all these motions. But until you literally get behind a camera and start talking and have other people watching it, until you do that, you do not know how to do video. And you can't get better at it until you do it, until you get behind the camera. So hiding behind the fear is just delaying the success. It's delaying the inevitable because you you're going to have to start at some point. So why delay it? Get the bad part out now. Get the worst part out now when nobody's seeing it. Nobody knows who you are. Just create that initial content so that when you have really good content a year from now, you could even think about pulling the old content down if you so choose, right? But you got to start producing so that you can get better. The last thing is one of the things that I found helped me when I was starting with video was to do live video. For live video, first of all, there's a connotation, there's an expectation, understanding that I'm live. So it's not scripted. I'm not reading off of a teleprompter. I'm not in a fancy studio with all these fancy lights. I could be, but I could just be with my iPhone in my hand going live from somewhere. Live video gives you permission to forget all the other stuff and to just literally open your camera, turn it on, and start talking. Maybe you have some notes that you're referencing, but basically you're talking from the mind, from the heart, and it creates real video. But what the other thing it does is it gets you to be not afraid. And the last thing is it puts you in a situation where you're there, you're stuck, you're already doing it. There's no walking away from it now. When you hit record on a camera and there's nobody watching it, it's not live. When you finish recording, you could delete that file. Nobody will be the wiser. Except for you, nobody would know. But you do live video and it's out there in the world as you're doing it. There is no turning back. Now this could work against you also, but we're talking about conquering your fear. One of the easiest ways to conquer your fear is to put yourself in a situation where you have no choice. You know, the easiest way to make sure that you skydive is if you go up in a plane with a parachute strapped to your back and you actually jump. Until you jump, you're not a skydiver. That'll never happen for you. You have to take the leap. So until you turn the camera on and you start recording, you start going live, you're not going to create video content. All right, that's enough of conquer your fear. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is create a topic list. So one of the things that we said is people are going to say, I don't know what to speak about. And also this parlays into I don't have time, because so much time and energy is taken up by trying to figure out what should I talk about. So if you already have in front of you a topic that you're going to be talking about, and guess what? You're a subject matter expert in everything you're going to discuss. Here, this podcast is not scripted. For this particular episode, you know what I did? I opened up Evernote and I said, okay, I want to cover reasons that we don't do video. I'm just going to think about them and I'm going to bullet point them. And I want to say 5 ways to implement video in just a week. What are the 5 things I want to share? And I bullet pointed them. So I have a little outline I'm going by. But you know what? Most of the times I get behind the microphone and I talk, I don't even have that outline. I just know what it is that I want to talk about. Why am I able to do that? Because I'm a subject matter expert in the stuff that I'm talking about. I know it. I don't need to prepare for it. You're the same. You can turn on a video and you can record 2 minutes of content on a specific subject without hesitation, without a problem, without thinking about it, because you know your stuff. Now, it could be that if it's a complex legal issue and you want to reference something, you need to look up that reference beforehand. Great. Have that prepared, have that ready. But the real thing that takes long, that stops us from doing it, let's say that you allocate 2 minutes a day for video. If you spend 2 minutes trying to figure out what am I going to talk about, those 2 minutes come and go and you never got your video done. So creating a topic list is really important. So how do you create a topic list? There's a method that I learned. So there's a guy who created a brand for it's called Self-Publishing School, which teaches you how to self-write and self-publish your own book. And there's a method that he teaches. I learned it by him first. I've heard other people talk about it also, is to basically think about in your practice area, what are all the main topics of questions that people have? So let's say that you're a bankruptcy attorney and the main topic areas are Chapter 7, Chapter 13, length of default, size of default, eligibility for those things. So those are like your main topic areas. So when you start thinking about main topic areas, and actually this is, I did this backwards. I'm sorry. Here's how it works. You take a Post-it pad and you just think of any question, any topic that comes up, anything related to what you do. So let's say it's bankruptcy. So you might write on the Post-it credit report. You put that to the side. You might put on types of debt. Put that to the side. Length of debt. Put that to the side. Personal debt. Put that to the side. IRS debt. Put that to the side. Debt for your primary home. Put that to the side. Other parties, co-signers on your loans. Put that to the side. Types of bankruptcy. Put that to the side. You get the idea. You basically you spitball all these different ideas onto these Post-it notes. What you then do is you take the Post-its, you lay it out so that you can start to organize them by major topic area. And what that does is it creates a format for you of major topic areas and then subtopic areas that you might want to talk about. Now you've got all of this stuff. Now you could try to think about, okay, do I want to go major topic by major topic and then go in order of subtopics, or do I want to mix it up? Do I want to be all over the place? And you can then figure out what your content's going to be and start to create a schedule around it. Start to put dates on it. When am I going to talk about this particular thing on video? So that's the second step to implementing video in just a week, is to actually have a list of topics already prepared so that you already know what you're going to talk about. You could just turn on the camera and go. The third thing is to calendar it. It doesn't have to be same time of day every day of the week, but depending on what you're doing, if you're doing live video, you might want to have a regular routine time that you go live so that people who want to watch you live get used to when it's going to happen, and they don't have to just hope that they're going to catch you at whatever time you decide to just turn your camera on. So you want to definitely have a schedule around it. But more importantly, even if it's not live video and it's just recording video that you're going to produce, you want to put it on your calendar. Even if it's 2 minutes, even if it's 2 minutes every day, make it from 9 to 9:05. You're going to do your video content. Whatever it is, it needs to be on your agenda, on your schedule, because if it's not, everything else is going to take priority. You and I both know that the moment that you open your email, the moment you walk through the door, the moment you start answering your phone, you're going to get torn in 17 different directions. The only way this is going to happen is if you have an allocated time blocked out on your calendar where people can't disturb you and you can be honest with yourself and make sure that it gets done. So you want to make sure you calendar it. The fourth step to implementing video in just a week is to make a deal with yourself. And here's how it goes. You basically pick a time frame. So let's say you're going to do a video a day, 5 days a week, and you say, okay, I'm going to do this for 4 weeks. I'm going to do this for 90 days. I'm going to do this for a year. Whatever it is. I know there was a group in the Maximum Lawyer Facebook group. There was a group of attorneys who got together and did a video a day challenge for a year. So for 1 year, they were obligated to do a video every day, right? I don't know how many people actually did the challenge, how many actually finished the year. But that's a commitment to commit to a year. But that's the thing, is there has to be a time frame involved so that you can know, I haven't reached that time frame yet. I got to keep going. And hopefully by the time you get there, you've created such a habit out of it that it just continues without needing to have this deal with yourself. But the first thing is you say, okay, I'm going to do this for X amount of time. Hopefully you make it long enough that it impacts you. So, 30 days is the minimum. I would say 90 days is where you should really aim for. Maybe you go as far as a year. But let's say you say, okay, I'm going to record a video a day, 5 days a week for 90 days. Now, if I stick with this and I get to the end, I'm going to reward myself by doing X, Y, Z, by getting myself a spa appointment, by taking my family to Disney World, by going on a cruise, or it could be something small, by going out for a steak dinner, right? Time frame, reward, make a deal with yourself, because what happens is it gets more real. There's a carrot there. There's something that you're working towards. And even though it's a deal with yourself, and sure, you could treat yourself anytime you want to the thing that you said that you would give yourself. But now it's a game. Now you're engaged. Now it's something that you can be like, okay, if I miss today, I'm going to screw this up and I'm not going to be able to get to where I wanted to go. So fourth is make a deal with yourself. Now the fifth one, and you're going to think it's cheesy and I'm cheating a little bit, but the fifth one is actually not my thing. Andy Stickle. You probably know the name. He's been a speaker at our Law Firm Growth Summit in 2019. He's been a speaker at our Law Firm Growth Summit in 2020 or 2021. We had our summit was in February of 2021. He has been a speaker on our Get Clients in a Day Get Clients Now workshop. He's just been involved in a bunch of the things that we do. But one of the things that he does amazingly well is video content. And most of you know him from his video content because he has the most interesting Facebook ads that he runs, and they're all video. So he does a ton of video. He's conquered video in amazing ways that we can only wish that we could do. And he's created a system that he lays out in a 5-day challenge. So he hosts this challenge called the 2-Minute Video Challenge for lawyers and law firms, and it's 5 days. And over 5 days, he walks you through the process of getting to the point where you're creating 2-minute videos a day. The 2-Minute Video Challenge for lawyers. And I'm really excited about this because I think that this is going to unlock your true potential. Everything I just shared with you, if you go through all of that and then you take Andy's 5-day challenge, you walk out of it a video producer. You walk out of it a content producer. And that's really where I want you to be. So I am promoting Andy's challenge today because I think that if you're going to learn it from somebody, learn it from the best. It's not something that I teach. And if you're serious about video, it's a joke. It's really inexpensive. So it's a paid challenge. But I think there's 2 ticket options. I think it's $47 and $97. I'm looking right now. Yeah, $47 and $97. So he has a general admission and a VIP experience. So you definitely want to check it out. So go to profitwithlaw.com/video challenge, profitwithlaw.com/video challenge. It'll take you straight to Andy's 2-minute video challenge for lawyers and law firms. And that's my 5th item. That's my final tip, because honestly, I think that if you conquer your fear, you create a topic list, and you make a deal with yourself, you calendar it, make a deal with yourself, the only thing left is to figure out how. What is the right way to position this content so it's effective in front of my audience, and how do I do it quickly and efficiently? And that's what Andy's going to cover in his 5-day challenge. Now, one more exciting piece. So his challenge starts soon, so hopefully you're listening to this podcast right away when it comes out. His challenge is starting in just a few days. I will go through that challenge with you. So I am going to join Andy's challenge myself, and I will go through the 5-day challenge with you. So I hope that that you guys are in with me. Go sign up for it, and let's do this together. Let's actually create video in our law firms and see if it's something that we can stick to and keep to and get into a habit of doing so that we can keep going. Now, I don't have a law firm, but I'm going to do it in my business, and we'll do it together. So hopefully this was informative for you. This is a bit of a longer episode for the episodes that I do where it's just me talking behind the camera, behind the microphone, not actually recording video of this episode. I should. But hopefully you got a ton of value out of this. And if this is your first time listening to the Profit with Law podcast, I invite you to become a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button in your podcast player. It'll let you know every time we release an episode, which is twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday. For those of you who enjoyed this episode, take it, share it with a colleague, share it with a friend, share it with somebody who you think can gain value from this information. And we're going to catch you Thursday with an amazing guest interview coming your way. Take care. Enjoy your week. Have you been enjoying the show? We sure hope so. To make sure you never miss an episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button in your podcast player app. Next week, we will be back with more valuable resources and ideas on how to break the mold and take your law firm to the next level.